Admit it, you've totally stalked your celebrity crush on social media at some point. It's okay, we've all done it. If you're feeling embarrassed, you'll feel better once we introduce you to these 10 crazed fans who took their obsessions way too far. We know you're fixated on TheRichest, so be sure to hit subscribe and turn on notifications for more videos. Dedication. Tattoos can be a meaningful way to memorialize loved ones, commemorate important life events, or ensure that you'll spend the rest of your days unemployed. One woman took the lyrics of a Drake song way too far when she had his name tattooed in huge letters across her forehead. But don't worry guys, she had a great reason for doing so. You see, a psychic assured her that this would make Drake fall in love with her. Well, we do know that Drake visited the tattoo artist and chewed him out for inking this woman's face, but sadly this love story didn't have a happy ending for the fan. Superfan Steve Jones thought he was in heaven when he met his idol Michelle Keegan, and he couldn't wait to show off his huge inked portrait of her. Although Michelle was gracious enough to sign off on this tat, we have to wonder what she really thinks about her resemblance to the portrait. It seems that Steve is also a fan of actress Kim Marsh since he has a tattoo of her face on his arm. But that's nothing compared to Carl McCoy, who got 29 tattoos of Miley Cyrus all over his body. Despite his love of Miley, he admits that his tattoos have been detrimental to his love life. The perfect selfie. Many celebrities such as Emma Watson and Justin Bieber have claimed that they will no longer take selfies with their fans. While many people consider fan photos part of being famous, some people take it way too far. Harry Styles of One Direction had a close encounter with a crazed fan at a very unusual place, his grandmother's funeral. His grandmother, Beryl, passed away after a long illness, and Harry attended the funeral to pay his respects and grieve with his family. In a horrific act of boundary crossing, one fan showed up at the funeral and begged for a selfie with the singer. Controversial comedian Amy Schumer found one fan's selfie demand so unfunny that she gave up on fan selfies altogether. While she was walking down the street in South Carolina, an adult man fan ran up to her, startling the star and demanding a selfie. When she declined, he told her, "It's America and we paid for you." Schumer was disgusted by his entitled attitude and the fact that he did this in front of his young daughter. The SAGA. We know that despite its dubious literary merit, the Twilight Saga was a huge hit, earning a lot of money and creating a lot of fans. However, some people became over-the-top obsessed with Robert Pattinson, who plays Edward Cullen in the film version. We have all had a poster of our favorite star that we were more than a little into, but Lauren Atkins took her 2D love to the next level when she married a cardboard cutout of Robert Pattinson. Naturally, the pair married in Vegas at a $2,600 ceremony. Lauren reports being over the moon happy with the union and drags her cardboard husband around with her wherever she goes. Good thing, since that's a lot of money to spend on a $20 cardboard cutout. According to the real Robert Pattinson's Twilight co-star Joe Anderson, one crazed fan flew from England to Vancouver to wait for Pattinson to emerge from his hotel. She brought a pair of scissors she hoped to use to snip off some hair to use with her homemade voodoo doll. Imitation. Well, it may be the sincerest form of flattery, but some people just go too far when they try to imitate their favorite stars. Jordan Park wants to become the male Kim Kardashian and has spent over $130,000 in his pursuit. He has had 2 nose jobs, a chin implant, eyebrow tattoos, Botox injections, and it may shock you to know that he has had over 50 lip-filling operations. Compared to his before photos, he looks like an entirely different person. He started out wanting to look like Kim, but has branched out and is picking out the best traits of each Kardashian family member. For example, he asked his surgeon to make his chin and jawline look more like Kylie Jenner's. He's never met any member of the family in person, but he sincerely hopes to one day. In the meantime, he claims that he doesn't intend to stop his transformation into a Kardashian anytime soon. He's been gathering tons of followers on social media who are amused by his many photos and the comparisons between him and Kim Kardashian. Questionable purchases. Maybe you spent big bucks on concert tickets to see your favorite superstar perform and then treated yourself to an overpriced concert t-shirt. Well, that's nothing compared to some of the strange objects that these over-the-top fans have spent big money on. We love a nice piece of fluffy French toast in the morning, but 19-year-old Kathy Summers paid $1,025 for 2 pieces of slightly burnt French toast that were picked at by Justin Timberlake during a breakfast interview. That seems pretty extreme until you learn that a piece of regular toast went for $100,000 after being half-eaten by One Direction's Niall Horan. We wonder how the person who spent $523 on a jar of air collected near Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt feel now that the famous couple has since split up. Many of us have dreamed of getting into the pants of our favorite stars, but definitely not like this. One fan spent a lot of money on a pair of underpants, or should we say knickers, that were owned by Queen Elizabeth. The Queen left them behind on a private plane, and someone paid the kingly sum of $18,000 to say they got into the Queen's knickers. We admit it, we're a little obsessed with trivia questions, so here's ours. Teenager Jack Johnson has spent over $26,000 on plastic surgery to look like which celebrity? If you can't tell by his face, we will tell you at the end of the video. Show me your teeth. Although it was Lady Gaga who asked fans to show her their teeth, it was Kesha who asked fans to send them over through the post office. She's a singer who's always had a bit of an, should we say, eclectic style, but some of us felt she crossed a line when she asked fans to mail in their teeth. However, her fans responded in droves and sent the star over 1,000 human teeth. Kesha used them to make various accessories that she claims to have worn out and about. We're not sure who is stranger here, Kesha for asking for teeth, or the tons of fans who cheerfully sent them in. We hope they at least brushed first. But finding teeth in your mailbox is preferable to finding a baby on your doorstep, like Dolly Parton once did. During the height of her fame, Parton returned home after a long day to find a box at her gate. Upon further inspection, she was horrified to realize the box contained a baby and a note claiming that the mother had left the child as a gift for the singer. Parton contacted Human Services and is unsure what happened to the baby after it was taken away. Uninvited guests. You might dream about visiting your favorite celebrity in their extravagant mansion, but most of us wouldn't do so unless invited. Jeggosh Matlock used a rope to climb into Madonna's $13 million mansion and rifle through her belongings. He stole a can of Red Bull energy drink before being apprehended by members of the singer's staff. A female teenage fan made herself at home in Brad Pitt's mansion once. She rummaged through his belongings, tried on his clothes, helped herself to some drinks, and ultimately fell asleep in his bed. A caretaker alerted the police, who found her in his bed garbed in his clothing, looking like some sort of strange stalker Goldilocks. A fan of Ricky Martin decided to emulate the movie Die Hard instead of a children's storybook when he broke into the singer's hotel room. Ricky Martin claims that he awoke to hear something rattling around in the air vent, only to realize it was a person. Instead of calling the police, Martin graciously took some photos with the fan and signed some autographs before letting him continue on his way. What's in a name? Some celebrities name their children things that we think are rather strange, such as Moxie Crime Fighter or Pilot Inspector. Naming your own child is one thing, but one woman decided to get closer to Kanye West by changing her own name. A woman formerly known as Linda Risa decided that since she couldn't force Kanye to marry her, she would do the next best thing and take his name. And by his name, we mean the whole thing. Yes, she legally changed her name to Kanye West. Before the name change, she had relied on tattoos to express her love of Kanye, getting his name tattooed on her arm and across her rear end. She spends her days performing on the streets wearing a wedding dress and adding Mrs. to her name. When asked how she feels about Kanye's actual wife, Kim Kardashian, female Kanye West replied that she has 99 problems, but Kim K ain't one. One recent problem that the unauthorized Mrs. Kanye West faced was throwing an amp through a storefront window in Times Square. She had become enraged when it stopped working during her performance, and she admits that her anger problem got the best of her in that situation. Sellout. Although she claimed that it was light years ahead of its time, most people considered Christina Aguilera's album Bionic to be a total flop. However, one superfan decided that the best way to support the singer was to purchase 250 copies of the album. Sadly, although it was a sweet and slightly insane gesture, it didn't help the album from rapidly slipping down the Billboard Top 200. J-pop is known for having some rather dedicated fans, particularly the members of a legendary group AKB48. This group believes in voting with your dollar and releases ballots along with their CDs that allow their fans to vote for their favorite band member. Whoever wins will have a stronger starring role in future songs, videos, and concerts. One fan was so enamored with Juri Takahashi that they purchased an obscene number of CDs just to buy some extra votes. Juri hadn't been doing well in the polls, and one anonymous donor hoped to turn that around by purchasing about $300,000 worth of AKB48 CDs. Sticks and stones. Jessica Cornish, better known as Jessie J, initially hit it big with her debut single, Do It Like a Dude. Years later, she was unnerved by one fan who tried to do things a little too much like her. During rehearsals for London's summertime ball, Jessie J took a tumble from a podium and ended up breaking her leg. This injury was devastating, afflicting the singer with lingering arthritis and robbing her of her ability to ever walk in heels again. It's a fate that she surely wouldn't wish on anyone, which is why she was horrified to find out that one fan had broken her own leg on purpose just to be more like her. The fan, who can't be named for legal reasons, tracked down private details and contact information for Jessie J and proceeded to send her photos of her broken limb, claiming that she would do anything to be just like her favorite star. This incident involving an overly obsessed fan caused Jessie J to worry for both the safety of her fan and her own safety. As a result, she's invested more money in her security team. So who did teenager Jack Johnson spend $26,000 to look like? If you said David Beckham, you're right. And you owe David Beckham an apology. But not to worry, because Jack has a further $40,000 in surgeries planned to get the look just right. Head over to our comment section and tell us the craziest thing you've ever done out of sheer admiration for your favorite celeb or fandom. Before you do so, please be sure to like our video, subscribe to The Richest, and turn on your notifications for more. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.